Stop scrolling right now. Yes, you. This isn't a random video, and it isn't meant for everyone who passes by. Out of the countless people who will see this today, only a few, only the ones heaven handpicked, will feel this message pull at their spirit the way you do right now. That's because you were chosen for this exact moment in your life. You didn't stumble here by chance. You were led here by divine design. This is not coincidence. This is a heavenly summons. Listen closely, because if you click away in the next few seconds, you will walk away from the very breakthrough that heaven wrote with your name on it before you were born. The enemy knows what's about to happen, and he's already whispering, "This is just another video." But he's terrified right now because he knows the moment you hear what's coming next, your spirit will awaken, your atmosphere will shift, and chains that have held you for years will begin to break. I'm speaking to someone who has been at the edge of giving up, who has cried silently in the dark wondering if God even remembers them. You've seen others receive miracles while you've waited, feeling unseen, unheard, forgotten. But heaven is shouting your name right now. I see it written in golden light on a scroll that angels are carrying before the throne. They've been dispatched with specific orders concerning you. They're moving even as you listen. So stay. Don't scroll away. Because before this message ends, something deep inside you, something that's been dormant, buried beneath pain and disappointment, is about to wake up again. I can feel it already stirring in the spirit. The sound of your name being called. The sound of heaven's door unlocking. What's about to happen in your life isn't random, it's written. Written long before you took your first breath. If your heart is pounding right now, that's confirmation. Heaven is leaning in. This is your divine moment, and you cannot afford to miss it. I have chosen this precise second to remind you of something you've forgotten. Your life is not random. The path you walk is not an accident. You are part of a divine sequence, written with care, sealed with purpose, and guided by love. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak you have endured has not been wasted. I have been writing redemption into every chapter. But now I have brought you here to awaken you, to stir what has been sleeping inside you, to call you back to awareness of my voice. You have prayed for a sign, and this is it. You have asked if I still see you, and I am answering with thunder in the silence. I see you. I have always seen you. And now, I am calling your attention because something sacred is unfolding that demands your full heart, your full focus, your full surrender. Do not take this lightly. Do not dismiss this as another moment that will pass. The world will try to distract you even now, whispering that you have more urgent things to do. But nothing is more urgent than this. Heaven itself has orchestrated this pose. Every heartbeat is echoing with the sound of my calling. I am speaking life into what has been fading inside you. I am breathing strength into the places that have grown weary. I am awakening destiny that hath been waiting in silence. You cannot afford to keep walking distracted. You cannot afford to keep ignoring the gentle tug on your heart. This is the moment heaven wrote for you before your first breath was taken. You have been carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours alone. You've tried to keep everything together while feeling like everything inside you was falling apart. You've whispered prayers into the darkness, wondering if anyone heard. I heard every one of them. I collected every tear you hid. I stood beside you in every battle you thought you faced alone. And now, I am stepping into your awareness again, not as a distant God, but as the one who was with you through it all. I am saying, stop. Look up. Listen. because I am about to turn the page of your story. Right, I am nothing without you. Lord, if He is the breath that gives you strength, come and Jesus, be my unshakable defender if you trust His covering and protection. This interruption is mercy. It is not anger, it is love. I am stopping you before you move too far down a road that would drain your spirit. I am pausing your steps because I see what you cannot see yet. I see the traps ahead that wear the disguise of opportunity. I see the distractions that look harmless but lead to delay. I am calling you back before you lose more time chasing what was never meant to satisfy your soul. My beloved, do not resist this moment. It is holy ground. Heaven is leaning close, and I am whispering your name. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are seen, chosen, and marked for divine transformation. I know how your heart beats faster even now, how something within you stirs with both fear and hope. That is because your spirit recognizes my voice. You may not understand it, but you can feel it, that sacred pull that tells you this is more than words. It is revelation. It is life. It is me calling you to remember that before you ever made your first mistake, before you ever felt your first heartbreak, I had already chosen you for something greater. This is why I am interrupting your routine, because you have been drifting from awareness of my presence. You've let the noise of this world drown out my whispers, but now I am roaring softly into your spirit. Wake up. This moment was destined for you. You are standing in a divine intersection. Heaven's timing has met your earthly moment. This is where destiny awakens. You do not need to understand everything right now. You just need to receive. Lay down the need to analyze and simply believe. Believe that I love you enough to stop time for you. Believe that I have orchestrated this encounter because I refuse to let you miss what's coming. Believe that the peace settling over you now is not coincidence, it is my presence confirming that this is real. So, stop everything. Breathe deeply. Listen closely. Feel the shift within and around you. The unseen is moving. The heavens are stirring. You have stepped into a moment written before the stars were hung, before your name was spoken by any human voice. I knew you then. I know you now. And I am here. This is your divine interruption, your call from eternity, and you are exactly where I've always wanted you to be. Right here, in this holy stillness, listening to me. Before the first sunrise ever spilled its light across creation, before the oceans learned how to move in rhythm with the wind, I saw this moment. Long before your name was spoken by human lips, it was already engraved upon my heart. You are not an afterthought. You are a divine intention. Every breath you take is part of a story that began in heaven, a story I personally wrote with purpose, tenderness, and precision. This moment right now is not happening by coincidence. It is the unfolding of something that I planned before time began. I knew there would come a day when you would need to be reminded of who you are and whose you are. That day is this day. This is the moment heaven waited for, the moment I would speak to your heart and awaken in you the remembrance of my eternal design. When I imagined you, I saw more than flesh and bone. I saw light. I saw destiny. I saw a soul capable of carrying my presence into a dark world. I shaped your heart with compassion, your mind with creativity, and your spirit with strength that even storms could not erase. I watched as time unfolded and circumstances molded you, and though pain tried to distort your reflection, my fingerprint has never left you. Even when you questioned your worth, I never stopped calling you worthy. Even when you felt invisible, I never took my eyes off you. I have loved you with an everlasting love, a love that began before you existed and will continue long after time itself fades away. You were chosen for this encounter. You were chosen to hear my voice today, not as a distant whisper, but as a personal call from eternity to your heart. Every moment you thought was random was a thread I wove into the masterpiece of your life. Every detour you took, every night you cried without understanding, every season of silence where you felt abandoned, none of it escaped my sight. I was there, watching, guiding, waiting for the right hour to bring you here. You see, the moments you called delays were actually alignments. The heartbreaks you thought would destroy you were the fires that refined you. The prayers you thought went unanswered were seeds taking root in unseen soil. You could not see it, but I was shaping you for what you are about to step into now. This very encounter is proof that I have never left you. You have arrived at the hour that was written before you were born, the hour where purpose awakens and confusion begins to dissolve. I have seen your weariness. I have felt the ache in your soul when you wondered if your life carried meaning. You have questioned why you had to go through so much, why the road had to be so long and painful. But my beloved, every tear you shed became part of a sacred exchange. Not one of them was wasted. I collected them all, and each one has watered the ground that will now produce fruit in your life. You have been walking through preparation, though you didn't realize it. The waiting, the wondering, the breaking, it all led to this appointed time. I had to let you walk through valleys so you could learn how to depend on me. I had to allow silence so you could learn how to listen. I had to let some doors close so that the one I opened for you now would lead straight into your destiny. Dear friend, thank you for being here. Our humble mission is to bring peace, joy, and devotion into your life. If our work has touched your heart, you may kindly show your support through super thanks. Your love and encouragement truly mean the world to us. Do you understand, my child? The pain that once made you feel forgotten was actually proof that you were chosen. I chose you to carry stories that would one day comfort others. I chose you to walk through fire so that when others are burning, you can testify that I am still faithful. I chose you to be a vessel through which my light shines, not because you were perfect, but because your heart, even in its fragility, remained open. This encounter, this moment, is not the beginning of something new. It is the continuation of something ancient. It is the fulfillment of what I saw when I imagined you before the foundations of the world. You were never overlooked. You were always known. When I spoke the stars into existence, I spoke your name into my plan. When I separated light from darkness, I separated your purpose from confusion. Every chapter of your life was written with intention. The storms that tried to crush you only deepened your roots. The betrayals that wounded you only pushed you closer to my embrace. The unanswered questions that haunted you were simply doorways to greater revelation. You have wondered if I truly see you, and now I say to you with unshakable certainty, I have always seen you. Every heartbeat, every sigh, every moment of strength and surrender, I have witnessed it all. I have walked beside you through every silent night. And now, I am unveiling the truth. All of it was leading here to this divine encounter, to this holy conversation where eternity meets your present moment. My beloved, nothing about your life has been wasted. Every lesson, every loss, every victory has been divinely interwoven into a story that will bring glory to my name and healing to your heart. The enemy wanted you to believe that you were forgotten, that I had abandoned you in your pain. But even when you couldn't hear me, I was whispering your name in the winds of mercy. Even when you felt like giving up, I was surrounding you with grace that carried you when your strength was gone. I have seen the way you kept moving forward despite the weight you carried. I have seen the way you tried to smile while your heart was breaking. And I have seen the way you still whispered prayers into the darkness, even when you were unsure if I was listening. I want you to know now I heard every word, and this is my response. I have brought you to the moment I prepared for you since the beginning. You are not standing in an ordinary hour. This is a divine appointment. Heaven and earth have aligned for this encounter. The same hands that shaped galaxies are the hands that now reach for your heart. The same voice that spoke creation into being is the voice speaking into your soul. This is the hour where you realize that your existence has always been intentional. You are part of a plan so vast, so sacred, that even angels marvel at how I have carried you through. You may have felt unseen, but you have been surrounded by divine orchestration all along. Nothing in your life escaped my design. Every delay was a setup. Every disappointment was a redirection. Every unanswered prayer was a chapter still being written. And now, I am turning the page. Can you feel it? The trembling within your spirit is not fear, it is recognition. Your heart knows this truth because it was born from it. You are not hearing these words for the first time. Your soul remembers them. It remembers the moment before you entered the world when I whispered your purpose into existence. That same voice is calling again. I am awakening what has slept within you, stirring the dreams you thought had died, reviving the hope you thought was lost. You have reached the moment where prophecy meets reality, where what was written in heaven begins to unfold on earth. Do not doubt what you are feeling right now. This is my presence confirming that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The chills down your spine, the tears welling in your eyes, the stillness in the room. These are signs that heaven is near. I am here, my child. The one who knew you before your first heartbeat is speaking life into you again. Every trial has brought you closer to this moment. Every loss has led you here. You have been walking toward this encounter since before time began. So lift your eyes and see this is holy ground. You are standing in the middle of a divine revelation. You are seen. You are known. You are loved beyond comprehension. This is the moment heaven wrote for you before the world began. And I, your creator, have been waiting to say these words. You were chosen for this very instant, and everything you have endured was preparing you for what I am about to do next. My beloved child, I have watched you walk through valleys so deep that even your own reflection could not recognize itself in the darkness. I have seen the nights when sleep would not come, when your heart ached with questions too heavy to voice. I was there when you tried to smile for others, even while your soul trembled within. I have never missed a moment of your pain. Every tear that fell in silence was gathered by my hands. Every sigh that escaped your lips when you thought no one was listening reached my throne like a prayer. You thought the silence meant I was absent, but I was never far. I was in the very air around you, in the stillness between your breaths, in the unseen presence that kept your heart beating when despair whispered that it couldn't go on. You have endured seasons that felt endless, betrayals that shattered trust, losses that stole joy, disappointments that drained your hope. You wondered why I allowed it, why I did not step in sooner. But child, every heartbreak, every storm, every shadow you passed through was not punishment. It was shaping. It was preparation. I was not standing on the outside watching you suffer. I was in the middle of the storm with you. When the waves rose high and you thought you would drown, I was the unseen hand holding you above the water. When you sat in the silence and said, "God, are you still here?" I whispered softly, "I never left." You see, my precious one, pain has a language that heaven understands deeply. It is not a sign of my absence, but often the very place where my presence grows strongest. When you wept, I wept with you. When your heart broke, mine broke too. When you could not find words, I heard the groaning of your spirit, and I translated every ache into a prayer that moved heaven itself. You thought your cries were lost in the dark, but they were echoing in the chambers of eternity. I recorded every tear, not to remind you of suffering, but to weave it into the story of your redemption. Nothing you have gone through has been meaningless. Every wound has been a door through which my mercy has entered. Do you remember those moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, when you said, "I can't do this anymore"? Those were the moments when I carried you. You didn't realize it, but the strength that rose up inside you to take one more breath, to face one more day, that was me. When you had no more words to pray, I prayed over you. When you were too weak to stand, I became your foundation. I have never been distant from your pain. I have been living within it, transforming it from something that tried to destroy you into something that will soon define your victory. I know you have wondered why certain people left, why certain doors closed, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. You asked me, why did this have to happen? And though you could not hear my voice then, I was whispering to your heart, because I am preparing you for something you cannot yet see. I have seen what you could not. I have shielded you from things that would have broken you beyond repair. I have allowed the storms not to destroy you, but to deepen your roots. I knew that what was shallow would not survive the winds ahead, so I allowed the shaking to make you strong. I knew that the heartbreaks you endured would birth a compassion that could heal others one day. I knew that the moments that felt like endings would one day become the openings for new beginnings. Tight Father, you alone know my heart if you long to dwell in His presence. My child, I have walked with you through every chapter. I was with you in the laughter that healed your heart and in the tears that felt endless. I stood beside you when others misunderstood you, when you were judged for choices no one else understood. I defended you when you couldn't defend yourself. I comforted you in the quiet when no one else saw your trembling hands or your tear-stained pillow. I was not absent in your darkest nights. I was the flicker of hope that refused to die, the whisper that said, "Hold on, this is not the end." You see, what felt like abandonment was often protection. What felt like silence was often strategy. What looked like loss was often the pruning that made room for better things. You prayed for me to take away the pain, but I was working through it, transforming it into something sacred. Every scar you carry, I have touched with grace. Every wound you hide, I have breathed healing into. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being remade into a vessel that carries wisdom, empathy, and strength beyond what you ever imagined. Do you remember the moments when peace came suddenly, like a soft wind brushing against your weary soul? That was me. When you laughed again after a long season of sorrow, that was my joy returning to you. When someone reached out with kindness just when you needed it most, that was me moving through them to remind you that you are not forgotten. I have been present in every detail, working behind every scene, turning even the most painful moments into stepping stones toward your purpose. The enemy wanted your pain to destroy you, to make you bitter, to make you believe you were alone. But I turned it into something holy. I used the same moments meant to break you to build you. I took the ashes, and began forming beauty that no one will be able to deny. What was meant for evil, I have been writing for good. Every heartbreak you endured is now part of your divine testimony. You have been walking through a sacred refining fire, and though you felt the heat, it did not consume you. It purified you. It revealed the gold I placed within you from the beginning. My beloved, look back and see. Every time you thought it was over, grace found you again. Every time you said, "I can't," mercy whispered, "You can." Every time you were betrayed, I was teaching you that my love is the only love that never fails. Every time you were rejected, I was showing you that my acceptance is eternal. You have never walked a single step alone. The footprints you see in the sand when you thought you carried yourself were mine. I carried you when you were too weak to carry yourself. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a vessel of divine purpose. Every ounce of pain you endured has been marked by my hands and transformed into power. The compassion you now carry, the wisdom you speak, the resilience that surprises even you, all of it was born from those painful nights. The very things you thought would destroy you have become the tools I will use to lift you higher. I am not done with your story. I am just revealing why the pain had to come first. So rest, my child. Lay your head against my heart and let the truth settle deep within you. I was there. Through every heartbreak, I was your unseen comfort. Through every storm, I was your anchor. Through every loss, I was your steady hand. Nothing escaped my notice, not one tear, not one cry, not one silent prayer. What you thought was random was written with care. What you thought was chaos was divine choreography. I was writing beauty into your pain long before you could see the pattern. This is why I am telling you now, your suffering was not wasted. Your tears were not in vain. I have turned your mourning into strength, your wounds into wisdom, and your struggles into testimony. Every sorrow was a sentence in the story I have been writing through your life. And when you finally see the full picture, you will understand what I have always known, that I was never absent, never late, never indifferent. I have been with you in every moment, turning every shadow into a place where my light could shine through you. And now, that light will lead you forward, healed and whole, into everything I have prepared for you since the beginning. My beloved child, the hour you have waited for has come. The unseen clock of heaven has struck a sacred moment, and I am turning the page of your life's divine story. What was once delayed is now being released. What was once hidden is now being revealed. This is not just another day, it is a holy intersection in time. The moment written into eternity when old seasons close and new beginnings awaken. Heaven's calendar has reached the point I marked for your breakthrough. I am aligning what was scattered, restoring what was lost, and opening doors that no human hand can shut. You may not see it with your natural eyes yet, but the shift has already begun in the spirit. The atmosphere around you is changing because I, your Creator, have spoken, and when I speak, creation responds. You have carried the weight of waiting for so long that you almost forgot what it feels like to move freely. You have prayed, fasted, cried, and wondered when the tide would turn. You have stood in the gap between promise and fulfillment, between hope and despair, and at times you feared that your story would remain unfinished. But I tell you now, the waiting season has served its purpose. It was never meant to last forever. It was a womb of preparation, the soil in which roots of faith were growing deep. Every silent season, every delay, every unanswered prayer was aligning you with this divine moment. A time for stillness is ending. and the time for movement is here. This is the turning point, my child, the place where what you believed in faith will begin to manifest in sight. You feel it? The stirring in your spirit, the trembling you cannot explain. That is heaven announcing change. It is the rhythm of destiny awakening. The doors you thought were closed permanently are beginning to shift. The opportunities you thought were lost are being revived. I am breathing life into what you buried in disappointment. Dreams that once seemed dead are stirring again. The ground beneath your feet is moving because I am rearranging your steps to align perfectly with my plan. You have come through the wilderness, and now you stand at the edge of promise. This moment is not the end of your journey, it is the gateway to fulfillment. I know the battles you fought to get here. I know the tears that watered the ground of your faith. I know how heavy the burden of endurance had been. But hear me clearly, those burdens are being lifted. The weight that has pressed upon your shoulders is breaking off even now. The spiritual chains that held you in patterns of delay are shattering in my presence. You will no longer carry yesterday's sorrow into tomorrow's promise. The pain that once defined you will now serve as the testimony that elevates you. I am taking the very stones that were meant to block your path and using them to build the steps that will carry you higher. This is the moment when everything begins to align. Heaven has been orchestrating details you could not see, conversations, opportunities, encounters, all converging to fulfill what I promised long ago. You have been walking in faith while I have been working in silence. But the silence is breaking. I am speaking again, and my word will not return void. The very atmosphere around you is heavy with promise because I am releasing acceleration. What took years to build will now unfold in days. What seemed impossible will unfold with ease. This is not because of your strength, but because my timing has arrived. When I declare now, no force on earth or in hell can delay it. My child, this moment hath been written since the beginning. I planned it before you knew what waiting meant. Every trial was a line in the script leading to this scene of revelation. You did not miss your destiny, you were being prepared to hold it. You were never forgotten. I was simply setting the stage. You were never behind. I was aligning the timeline. And now, all the strands come together, and I breathe a single word over your life. Shift. Everything changes at that word. Your identity, your atmosphere, your future, it all comes into alignment with my divine order. The seasons of confusion and stagnation are closing like a finished chapter. I am turning the page, and what comes next will bear my fingerprints all over it. Do not be afraid of the unfamiliar. New beginnings often feel uncertain because they require you to let go of the old. You cannot carry yesterday's fear into tomorrow's destiny. Release it now. Release the guilt of what you couldn't change, the grief of what you lost, the weight of what you think you should have done differently. None of it can follow you into this next season. I am doing a new thing, and I need your hands free to receive it. The doors I am opening will not require you to push. They will swing wide at my command. The paths I am clearing will not demand striving. They will unfold as you step forward in faith. This is not about effort, it is about alignment. The heavens are moving on your behalf. Angels are being dispatched to go before you, to prepare the way, to bring divine connections and supernatural provision. You will see coincidences that are not coincidences at all, they are confirmations. Every encounter, every opportunity, every open door will be a divine echo of this moment, reminding you that I have gone before you. You will walk into rooms you never thought you'd enter. You will find favor where once there was rejection. You will see doors that were locked suddenly open without resistance. I am not only changing your circumstances, I am changing your atmosphere. You have waited long, but I am not a God who forgets. I am a God of appointed times. My calendar is perfect. I do not rush, and I do not delay. The things you thought I postponed were actually waiting for the right alignment of people, timing, and maturity. You were being shaped to carry what I am now placing in your hands. If I had given it to you earlier, it would have felt like a blessing too heavy to bear. But now, because you endured, you are ready. You are stronger than you realize, and you are walking into the season for which you were born. So lift your head, my beloved. Breathe deeply. The air around you carries the scent of change. The old clouds of heaviness are breaking apart, and sunlight is spilling through. The waiting is over. You are stepping out of the wilderness into the land of promise. You are crossing from endurance into fulfillment. The prayers you thought had been forgotten are now ripening into reality. You are standing in the doorway of destiny, and I am saying to you, walk through. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. Do not second guess what I have already confirmed. This is your divine hour. Let hope rise in you again. Let your heart believe that goodness is still possible, that joy can return, that miracles are not finished. The sound of breakthrough is echoing in the distance. It is moving closer with every heartbeat. What once felt impossible is becoming inevitable because I have decreed it. My timing is perfect, my plan unshakable, and my promise sure. This is not the end of your story. It is the chapter where my glory begins to shine through you. Say, Jesus, cleanse and renew my heart if you're desperate to walk in purity. And share this video.